The battle had ended. Smoke drifted across the alien desert, and the once vibrant sky had turned a dull orange. Human forces had won, but the cost was heavy. Soldiers were exhausted, their armor scorched, and their spirits weary. Among them was Captain Aaron Voss, a seasoned human soldier known for his courage and cunning in the darkest of wars. The alien command had offered a reward to the victor of this brutal conflict. The prize was not gold, not technology, but a selection of alien women, each representing a different strength and power. The strongest were imposing, nearly invincible, with abilities that could rival the most advanced human weaponry. They were awe-inspiring, terrifying, and dangerous. But Aaron did not rush. While others eyed the most powerful alien women with desire and envy, he walked calmly toward the weakest of them. She was small, fragile-looking, with soft silver hair and eyes that shimmered like the moons of her home planet. Soldiers whispered behind his back. "Why her? She's weak. She's useless." Aaron paid no attention. He knew something they didn't. He knew who she really was. As he approached her, the alien woman lifted her gaze. There was a quiet intelligence in her eyes, a hidden fire that no one else could see. Her name was Lyra. She did not speak at first. She studied him as if measuring his intentions. The battlefield had hardened her, but it had not broken her spirit. Aaron sensed her strength, not in her muscles or weapons, but in her mind. The other soldiers laughed and made crude jokes. They chose the women who looked strongest, who could fight alongside them or serve their ambition. Aaron knelt before Lyra and offered his hand. She hesitated, then took it. A soft smile curved her lips, almost imperceptible, as if acknowledging a secret connection only the two of them shared. That night, Aaron sat near the smoldering ruins of the battlefield. He could hear the other soldiers boasting about their prizes, claiming victories that would be meaningless in the days to come. But Aaron focused on Lyra. He watched as she quietly observed the human camp, her sharp eyes noticing details no one else saw. Every action, every movement of the soldiers, every hidden threat, she saw it all. Aaron remembered the reports he had received before the final battle. The aliens who seemed weak often held the greatest secrets. Some were masters of strategy, manipulation, or hidden powers. The strong ones relied on brute force, the weak ones thrived in shadows. That was why he had chosen her. As the fire crackled, Aaron finally spoke. "You're not what they think," he said. Lyra's eyes flickered with understanding. She did not reply with words, but her nod was enough. Over the next few days, Aaron and Lyra worked quietly. While the other soldiers flaunted their victories, Aaron observed. Lyra moved among the humans with a calm grace, reading their intentions, predicting their actions. She was clever, strategic, and patient. Aaron's intuition had been right, her weakness was only an illusion. One evening, a small group of alien rebels attempted a sabotage on the human camp. Soldiers panicked, unsure of what to do. Lyra stepped forward, whispering instructions to Aaron. Together, they turned the ambush into a trap. The rebels were caught, not by brute force, but by cunning. The other soldiers watched in shock. The weak alien woman had saved the day. Aaron smiled quietly to himself. This was only the beginning. He had chosen her for a reason. The war might have ended, but a greater challenge was coming, a challenge that would test not just strength, but loyalty, intelligence, and courage. And Aaron knew that with Lyra by his side, they were ready. The stars above twinkled as if silently approving his choice. In the quiet of that alien night, two figures, one human, one alien, sat side by side. They were small against the vast universe, but together, they were unstoppable. And somewhere, in the shadows of the cosmos, powerful eyes watched them. Eyes that underestimated them. Eyes that would soon regret it. The morning sun rose over the alien desert, casting long shadows across the smoldering battlefield. The camp was quiet now, the chaos of victory replaced by uneasy calm. Aaron Voss stood at the edge of the human encampment, his eyes scanning the horizon. Something felt off. He had fought countless battles, yet the instinct in his gut told him the war was not over. Lyra stood beside him, silent and observant. She had spent the night studying the camp, mapping every perimeter, every vulnerable point. Her silver hair shimmered in the early light, and her eyes, bright and intelligent, followed every movement. To the untrained eye, she was fragile, but Aaron knew better. She was a mind sharp as any weapon, capable of seeing dangers before they arrived. Aaron's suspicions proved true. Midday brought an unusual silence. Soldiers reported strange movements near the desert's edge, distant shadows slipping between the dunes. Aaron and Lyra watched together. They were too far away to identify the threat clearly, but Aaron didn't need to see it to sense danger. "Lyra," he said quietly, "do you see what I see?" Lyra's eyes narrowed. She studied the shadows, noting patterns invisible to others. "Not exactly," she replied softly. "But I know what it is. They're scouts, not regular fighters. Someone is testing us." Aaron's brow furrowed. Who would test them now? The war was supposedly over. He glanced at the other soldiers, laughing and boasting about their alien prizes. None of them noticed the approaching threat. That was their mistake. Lyra moved closer to Aaron, lowering her voice. "They're probing for weakness. They want to see who we are, what we can do. If we react carelessly, the next attack will be deadly." Aaron nodded. He had chosen Lyra not just for her hidden intelligence but for moments like this, moments when others underestimated her, when her mind would save lives. He silently admired her ability to stay calm, to see beyond the obvious. "Follow my lead," he said. "We need to set a trap." Over the next hour, Aaron and Lyra moved carefully through the camp. She whispered instructions, pointing out weak points, alerting him to hidden dangers. Together, they set simple but clever defenses. The other soldiers, distracted by their ego and trophies, ignored them. They were about to learn a hard lesson. As the sun dipped low, the shadows emerged. A small fleet of alien scouts moved toward the camp, fast and silent. They expected an easy victory. They did not expect cunning. Aaron and Lyra struck. Using the terrain to their advantage, they guided the enemy into a narrow canyon. Lyra had studied the desert and knew exactly where to lead them. The scouts, overconfident and careless, walked right into the trap. Rocks and debris fell from above, cutting off their retreat. Smoke and confusion filled the canyon, and the humans moved in with precision, guided by Lyra's instructions. The battle was quick but decisive. When it was over, not a single human life was lost. The alien scouts were captured, stunned and confused by the unexpected strategy. The other soldiers stared in disbelief. She's just one person," whispered Lieutenant Harris. "How?" Aaron smiled quietly. He didn't need to explain. He already knew the truth. Lyra's power was not physical, it was her mind, her foresight, her ability to turn weakness into strength. And in this war, that was far more dangerous than brute force. That night, Aaron and Lyra sat near the fire again. The captured scouts were secured, but Aaron knew this was just the beginning. Whoever had sent them would not give up easily. He turned to Lyra, a question in his eyes. "You knew this would happen," he said softly. Lyra's lips curved slightly. "I suspected," she replied. "I've seen similar tactics on my home planet. Brute force is loud. Strategy is silent. And the humans, you're unpredictable." Aaron chuckled. "Unpredictable, huh? That's one way to put it." They spent the night planning, preparing for the inevitable next attack. But amidst the strategy and whispers of danger, something else began to form, a bond, quiet but growing. Two very different beings, united by survival and mutual respect. The soldiers around them noticed it too, though they could not understand it. By dawn, Aaron knew one thing for certain: Lyra was not just an ally. She was a force that could change the course of this war. And together, they would face whatever threat came next, unseen, underestimated, and unstoppable. Far beyond the desert, hidden eyes watched. Observers from other planets, other factions, had taken note of Aaron and Lyra. The weak alien woman had proven her value. The human soldier had chosen wisely. But the Watchers were not impressed, they were calculating. And they would strike again, soon. The universe, it seemed, was not done testing them. The desert sun had barely risen when Aaron Voss felt it, a strange vibration under the ground. It was subtle, almost imperceptible, but to a soldier who had survived countless battles, it meant one thing: something massive was approaching. He glanced at Lyra. She, too, had sensed it. Her silver hair caught the morning light as she tilted her head, eyes narrowing. "It's not just scouts this time," she said softly. "It's something bigger. Something dangerous." Aaron didn't need more explanation. The human camp had survived small attacks before, but this felt different. He called the soldiers together. "Prepare yourselves," he said. "We don't know what's coming, but it's not friendly." The humans scrambled to arm themselves, but Lyra did not rush. She moved calmly, almost gracefully, among them, analyzing every soldier's stance, every weapon, every weakness. Aaron watched her, silently impressed. She seemed to see what others could not: patterns in chaos, strength in what appeared weak, solutions in impossible situations. Hours later, a dark shadow fell over the camp. A massive alien craft descended from the sky, its engines roaring like thunder. Soldiers panicked, firing wildly, but Lyra stepped forward. "No," she commanded. "Let me guide you." Aaron followed her lead, trusting her instinct. She directed the soldiers into positions, pointing out where the craft might land and where its weapons would target first. The humans took cover, following her silent commands. When the alien craft landed, it opened its doors. Out stepped giant armored warriors, easily twice the size of a human, with blades that glimmered like molten metal. The soldiers hesitated, but Aaron gritted his teeth. "Remember, stay calm. Watch and follow Lyra." The battle began, and chaos erupted. The humans struggled against sheer brute force. Aaron fought fiercely, but the aliens were overwhelming. That's when Lyra revealed her secret. With a quiet hum, the air around her seemed to shimmer. She raised her hands, and suddenly, the ground itself seemed to respond. Rocks lifted, sand swirled, and the alien warriors were caught off guard. They swung their massive weapons, but the terrain moved with Lyra's will, tripping them, blocking attacks, and even redirecting their energy blasts. The soldiers stared in awe. This was no ordinary alien woman, they had underestimated her completely. Aaron smiled grimly. He had known this strength existed. What others saw as weakness, he had seen as hidden power. Together, Aaron and Lyra turned the tide. The humans attacked with precision, guided by Lyra's abilities. Slowly, the giant warriors were driven back, their weapons breaking against clever traps and calculated moves. Every time an alien thought they had the upper hand, Lyra's subtle manipulation of the battlefield turned it against them. When the last warrior fell, silence returned. The humans were exhausted, bruised, but alive. Aaron approached Lyra, admiration clear in his eyes. "I should have expected this," he said. "You're incredible." Lyra shook her head. "I told you, Aaron. Strength isn't always what you see. Sometimes, it's quiet. Hidden. And those who underestimate it, they pay the price." Aaron nodded, knowing this was more than a lesson, it was a truth of the universe. He had chosen wisely, and now, the other soldiers began to understand. They looked at Lyra not as a weak alien, but as a force that could not be ignored. But their victory was not unnoticed. Far across the stars, powerful beings observed. They had underestimated the humans, underestimated Lyra, and underestimated the bond between the two. Now, plans were being made to strike harder, faster, and with greater cunning. As night fell, Aaron and Lyra sat under the alien stars, tired but alert. The humans celebrated quietly, knowing they had survived an impossible fight, but Aaron's mind was elsewhere. He thought of what was coming. The universe was vast, full of dangers far beyond what they had faced. And yet, he felt a strange confidence, because he and Lyra were together. "Do you think it will ever stop?" he asked softly. Lyra looked up at the stars, silver eyes reflecting their light. "No," she said. "It never stops. But that's not the point. The point is, we survive. We fight. And we grow stronger. Together." Aaron smiled, a quiet determination settling in him. The war might never truly end, but with Lyra by his side, he knew they could face anything. And somewhere deep in the cosmos, their enemies were beginning to realize that what they thought was weakness could be the greatest power in the universe. The night was quiet, but Aaron knew the calm was only temporary. Tomorrow, the universe would test them again. And Aaron and Lyra would be ready. The human camp had survived the attack, but the victory felt hollow. Aaron Voss walked among the soldiers, his mind sharp, scanning for threats that might hide in plain sight. Lyra followed quietly, her eyes always alert. She had grown more confident after revealing her powers, but she remained calm and focused. Something was wrong. Aaron could feel it in the air. It wasn't the aliens, they were predictable. This felt different. Hours later, a message arrived from the human command outpost. It was short, urgent: "Trust no one. The enemy is closer than you think." Aaron frowned. He read the lines carefully, sensing the weight behind them. Lyra leaned over his shoulder. "They mean someone is already inside our ranks," she said softly. "Not an outsider, one of our own." Aaron's jaw tightened. Betrayal was far more dangerous than any alien attack. One wrong move, one careless word, and the entire camp could fall. He called a quiet meeting with the officers. "We have a traitor," he said. "Someone is feeding information to the enemy. We need to find them, quickly." The soldiers exchanged nervous glances. Some denied it, others whispered, but Aaron didn't let them distract him. He turned to Lyra. "We'll need your help." Lyra nodded. "I've seen this before. The traitor will try to hide in plain sight, but small details betray them. Watch carefully." Together, Aaron and Lyra began their investigation. Every action, every word, every glance was analyzed. Lyra's mind worked like a supercomputer, connecting patterns no one else could see. Slowly, a picture began to form: a soldier who had been too quiet, too careful, always observing but never acting. Aaron confronted him that night. The soldier, Lieutenant Marek, tried to deny it, but Lyra's eyes revealed the truth. She had a way of reading intent, of sensing deception. It was subtle, almost impossible to explain, but Aaron trusted her judgment. "Why?" Aaron demanded. "Why betray your own people?" Marek's lips curled into a bitter smile. "You humans think you can win everything with courage and luck. But strength is in power, in alliances. I chose the side I believed would survive." Aaron's hand went to his weapon, but he didn't fire. He had learned that brute force alone was never the answer. Lyra stepped forward, her calm aura filling the space. With a small gesture, she disarmed Marek without touching him, an unseen force guiding his movements. "You underestimate what you cannot see," Lyra said softly. "Weakness is not what you think. Intelligence, loyalty, courage, these are the true weapons." Marek was restrained and placed under guard. The other soldiers were stunned. Many had laughed at Aaron for choosing Lyra, the weak alien, as his ally. Now, they understood. It wasn't strength of muscle or firepower that had saved them, it was insight, strategy, and the bond between two beings willing to fight together. But the danger was far from over. As the camp tried to regain calm, strange signals appeared on their scanners, patterns in the stars, coded messages, movements that no one could explain. Someone, somewhere, was watching. Someone powerful. Aaron and Lyra stood at the edge of the camp, gazing at the desert horizon. "They're planning something," Aaron said. "Something bigger than scouts, bigger than brute force. And Marek's betrayal, it's only the beginning." Lyra's eyes glimmered. "We've faced open attacks, but the next move will be silent, subtle. They will try to trick us, divide us, make us doubt each other. And that's when they'll strike." Aaron clenched his fists. "Then we strike first. We don't wait for them to choose their moment." Together, they began preparing the camp, not just with weapons and defenses, but with strategy, intelligence, and anticipation. Every soldier was trained, every weak point fortified, every movement monitored. Lyra taught them to read patterns, to trust instinct, and to see hidden threats before they arrived. That night, under the alien stars, Aaron realized the true value of his choice. Lyra was not just an ally, she was a partner in survival, a mind capable of seeing the invisible, predicting the unpredictable. And the bond between them was now stronger than ever. Far beyond the horizon, hidden ships and shadowy figures observed them. They had underestimated the humans before. They had underestimated the weak alien woman. And now, the observers were planning something far more dangerous, something that would test every skill, every instinct, and every ounce of courage Aaron and Lyra possessed. The calm night air whispered a warning. The real war was only beginning. The desert night had barely faded when Aaron Voss stood atop the highest ridge near the camp. His eyes scanned the horizon, alert for the faintest hint of movement. Lyra was beside him, silent but watchful. The events of the previous days had proven one thing: the universe was far more dangerous than they had imagined. Aaron frowned. "I can feel it," he said. "Whatever's coming next, it's bigger than scouts, bigger than traitors. Someone is orchestrating this." Lyra nodded. "Not just someone. Many. A network, connected across planets. They watch, manipulate, and strike when we least expect it. We've been caught in a test, and now the real game begins." Aaron's jaw tightened. "Then we need to find them before they find us." Over the next few days, Aaron and Lyra began gathering intelligence. Lyra's abilities went beyond combat. She could sense patterns in seemingly random signals, decode alien communications, and detect the faintest signs of manipulation. Together, they discovered a web of conspiracies stretching across multiple star systems, aimed at enslaving weaker civilizations and exploiting resources. But the deeper they dug, the more dangerous it became. The conspirators were cunning, hiding behind layers of deception. And one message sent a chill down Aaron's spine: the humans are more dangerous than expected. Eliminate the soldier and his alien companion before they reveal the truth. Aaron glanced at Lyra. "They know about us." She nodded. "They underestimated the humans before. That was their first mistake. They will not underestimate us again. But they will try to destroy us in any way possible." Aaron realized this wasn't just about survival anymore, it was about stopping a plan that could enslave millions. The mission was no longer personal. It was interstellar. The first strike came sooner than expected. A fleet of sleek, black ships appeared on the scanners, moving fast and silent, invisible until they were almost upon the camp. The soldiers panicked, but Aaron remained calm. Lyra whispered instructions, pointing out weak spots in the fleet's formation and suggesting ways to use the desert terrain to their advantage. The battle was unlike anything the humans had faced before. The black ships fired energy beams that could cut through armor, and their warriors moved with unnatural precision. Yet, Aaron and Lyra fought with a combination of human ingenuity and alien intelligence. While the soldiers engaged in combat, Lyra used her power to manipulate the environment, lifting rocks, redirecting energy blasts, and creating barriers of swirling sand. Aaron moved like a shadow, striking with calculated force. Every move he made was guided by Lyra's insight. Together, they were unstoppable. The black ships fell one by one, their warriors disoriented and unprepared for the unexpected tactics. When the last ship crashed into the desert, the camp fell silent. The humans had survived, but the battle had revealed the true scale of the threat. The conspirators were vast, powerful, and far from defeated. That night, Aaron and Lyra gathered the soldiers. "This is bigger than any war we've fought," Aaron said. "We are not just defending ourselves. We are standing for humanity, for freedom, for every civilization they want to control. And we will not fail." Lyra's eyes glimmered in the firelight. "They will come again. Stronger, smarter, more ruthless. But they do not understand one thing: humans are unpredictable. And together, we are unstoppable." The soldiers, inspired by their victory and Lyra's calm confidence, nodded. They began training, learning from Lyra's strategies, Aaron's leadership, and the lessons of the last battles. Every day, the camp grew stronger, smarter, and more prepared. Far beyond the desert, the conspirators observed. Their plans had been thwarted, and their patience was wearing thin. But they were not defeated. They had underestimated the humans and the alien who appeared weak. That mistake would cost them, but it had also taught them one important lesson: Aaron and Lyra were a threat that could not be ignored. As Aaron and Lyra stood under the alien stars, looking out at the quiet desert, a thought crossed Aaron's mind. "Do you ever wonder why they underestimated you?" Lyra smiled faintly. "Because I appear weak. Because I do not fight with brute force alone. And because they do not expect humans to see beyond appearances. That is the real power: understanding, strategy, and trust. They will learn it too late." Aaron placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then we keep moving forward. No fear, no hesitation. We are the defenders, and we will protect what matters." And somewhere, across countless light years, the conspirators prepared their next move, unaware that the duo they had dismissed as weak would soon become the most dangerous force in the galaxy. The war for survival, for freedom, and for the future of civilizations had only just begun. The desert night was quiet, almost peaceful, but Aaron Voss knew better. Calm was always temporary in a universe full of enemies. The human camp had rebuilt, fortified, and trained for the next strike, but Aaron's instincts told him something deeper was stirring, something beyond fleets and traders. Lyra sat near the fire, her silver hair shimmering in the flickering light. She stared into the flames, lost in thought. Aaron noticed her silence. "You've been quiet," he said softly. "What are you thinking about?" Lyra hesitated, then spoke, her voice low. "About my past, and why I am here." Aaron's interest piqued. In all the days they had fought together, Lyra had shared almost nothing about her life before the war. Even now, she revealed only fragments. "I was not always seen as weak," she said. "On my home planet, I belonged to a class of scholars and strategists. Physically, I was small, fragile, easily overlooked. But my mind could see connections others could not. I could predict outcomes, manipulate situations without being seen, and turn weakness into power." Aaron nodded slowly. He had suspected as much. Her actions in battle, her ability to manipulate the environment, and her calm intelligence had always hinted at hidden depths. "But the strongest ones on my planet, they feared me," Lyra continued. "They feared what they could not control. So they tried to erase me, send me away, make me appear powerless. And then, the humans came. You saw me as weak. But you chose me anyway." Aaron smiled faintly. "I did not choose you because of what I saw. I chose you because of what I sensed. And I was right." Lyra's eyes softened. "The conspirators, the ones behind the attacks, they are part of the same network that destroyed my home world. They underestimated humans first, and they underestimated me. Together, we can stop them, but we must be careful. Their reach is far beyond this desert. Aaron clenched his fists. Then we take the fight to them. No more waiting. The next day, intelligence reports confirmed their fears. A fleet was moving toward a nearby star system, targeting civilian colonies. The conspirators were testing humanity's limits, probing for weaknesses in both soldiers and strategy. Aaron and Lyra organized a strike team. The soldiers were nervous but inspired, knowing that Lyra's insight and Aaron's leadership had saved them time and again. Lyra gave them simple instructions, teaching them to read the battlefield, anticipate enemy moves, and trust each other. When the fleet arrived, the attack was swift and brutal. Alien ships fired advanced weapons, and elite warriors boarded human vessels. But Aaron and Lyra were ready. Using her unique abilities, Lyra manipulated the battlefield subtly, turning the enemy's strength against them. Sandstorms, debris, and shifting terrain became weapons in her hands, confusing the invaders and slowing their advance. Aaron led the soldiers with precision, striking at key targets and using the chaos to their advantage. Slowly, the tide turned. The humans, guided by Lyra's intelligence and Aaron's strategy, defeated the invading force without losing a single life. After the battle, Aaron approached Lyra. "Your powers, they saved more than just us. They saved entire colonies." Lyra shook her head. "It is not just my power. It is the combination of trust, strategy, and courage. That is what humans excel at, adapting, learning, and surviving. That is why we will win." But as they celebrated, a chilling message appeared across the comms: "Lyra's past is not as buried as you think. We know her secrets, and we will use them against you." Aaron's heart sank. Whoever sent this message knew far too much. The war was escalating, and now, Lyra's own history was a weapon the conspirators could exploit. Lyra's eyes narrowed, her calm composure returning. "They think they can use my past as a weakness. They are wrong. Every skill, every secret, every hardship I endured, it made me stronger. And together, we are stronger than they can imagine." Aaron placed his hand on her shoulder. "Then we face them, no fear, no hesitation. Together." Far across the galaxy, the conspirators prepared their next move, realizing that Aaron and Lyra were no ordinary soldiers. The weak alien woman had revealed her true strength, and the human soldier had chosen wisely. The stage was set for a confrontation that would decide the fate of countless worlds. The universe was vast, full of danger, but Aaron and Lyra were ready. And no one, no matter how powerful, could underestimate them again. The stars hung bright in the black sky, cold and silent, but Aaron Voss felt the heat of an approaching storm. After countless battles, betrayals, and near escapes, the ultimate challenge had arrived. The conspirators, an interstellar network of the most ruthless alien factions, had revealed themselves. Their fleet, massive and heavily armed, was headed straight for the human colonies. Aaron and Lyra stood on the bridge of their flagship, overlooking the desert world they had defended so many times. Around them, soldiers prepared, their confidence tempered by fear. But Lyra's calm presence reassured them. "They've brought everything," Aaron said. "But we've survived worse." Lyra's silver eyes glimmered. "Worse is relative. But we are ready. This is not just about fighting, it's about strategy, trust, and understanding the enemy. That is our advantage." The first wave of enemy ships emerged from hyperspace, dark silhouettes against the stars. The conspirators' leader, a figure known only as Zareth, had orchestrated attacks for decades, crushing civilizations with precision and cunning. But he had never faced humans like Aaron and an alien like Lyra. The battle began. Energy beams lit up space, and explosions shook the ships. Aaron's soldiers fought fiercely, but it was Lyra's insight that turned the tide. She guided them, predicting enemy maneuvers before they happened, using their strength against them. Ships crashed into each other, energy shields collapsed under misdirected attacks, and the conspirators' formations fell apart. On the ground, Aaron and Lyra led a strike team to infiltrate Zaratha's flagship. They moved silently through dark corridors, avoiding traps and ambushes. Lyra's abilities allowed them to sense hidden dangers, manipulate security systems, and turn the environment against their enemies. They reached Zaratha's chamber. The leader was massive, armored in black that absorbed light, eyes glowing with malice. He sneered. "You think you can stop me? A human and a weak alien?" Aaron stepped forward. "Weak? She's stronger than you can imagine. And together, we are unstoppable." Lyra raised her hands. The room shifted subtly, shadows stretched unnaturally, the floor moved beneath Zaratha's feet, and the air seemed to hum with unseen energy. For the first time, the mighty conqueror hesitated. Aaron struck with precision, exploiting the openings Lyra's strategy created. Zarath fought back, but he underestimated the synergy of human courage and alien intelligence. Lyra manipulated the environment, trapping him, while Aaron delivered the final blow, shattering his armor and breaking his control over the fleet. Outside, the remaining enemy ships scattered. Without Zaratha's command, the conspirators' plans collapsed. The colonies were safe, and humanity had survived a threat that spanned the stars. Aaron and Lyra stood together on the flagship's deck, looking at the remnants of the battle. Soldiers cheered, but Aaron knew the real victory was more profound than that. Lyra, the alien who had appeared weak, had revealed her true power, strategy, intelligence, and insight, and in partnership with humanity, she had turned the tide of the war. Lyra turned to Aaron. "They will not underestimate us again." Aaron smiled. "And neither will anyone else. We proved something today, not just to them, but to the universe. Humans and allies like you, we survive, we adapt, and we fight smarter than anyone expects." The stars above seemed to shine brighter, reflecting the hope and courage that had carried them through countless battles. Lyra's past, her secrets, and her hidden powers were no longer a liability, they were a beacon of strength. Aaron knew their journey was far from over. The universe was vast, full of threats, and dangers would arise again. But for now, they had triumphed, proving that even in the darkest corners of space, humans and their allies could overcome impossible odds. As they stood side by side, two figures against the endless cosmos, Aaron whispered, "Together, we can face anything." Lyra nodded, a quiet smile on her lips. "And we will. Always."